Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to my channel Patel Science Academy. This is your Shahzad sir, and this is the lecture number 7 from the chapter Plants Water Relation. Dear students, in this lecture, I'll explain you about the capillarity theory, that is physical force theory. What is this capillarity theory and the physical force theory? According to this theory, the physical forces and the dead cell, remember these two terms, physical forces and the dead cell, these two factors are responsible for the ascent of sap. Dear students, as you know, ascent of sap, the upward movement of the sap in the plant body from the roots to its original part, so that to its aerial parts, this is called ascent of sap for the nutritions in the plant, so that they can get energy. So for this ascent of sap, according to this theory, physical forces and the dead cells are responsible. This theory actually it was put forth by the Boehm in 1863, and when wick dipped in an oil lamp. According to this theory, if you use an oil lamp and when a wick means strips with the porous structure, which is responsible for flowing the any liquid from the lower direction to the upper direction by the capillarity of process. So that wick dipped in an oil lamp, it shows the capillarity, due to which oil is raised in a upward direction, and this conduction of the water in the straw dipped in the water is raised to a certain height because of that capillarity. This is the basic of this theory. So because of that capillarity, the height to which the water is raised, it depends on the diameter of that straw that you have been dipped inside that oil lamp. So same thing takes place in the plant too. According to this theory, according to the Boehm, there is a small tubes which is having the capillarity forces, and because of that small tubes present in the different parts of the plant, they go for the capillarity. So capillarity is because of the surface tension and because of the force of the cohesion and adhesion. As you know, cohesion means the attraction between the same molecules, like the in between the two water molecules, and the adhesion, attraction between the unlike molecules like the water molecule and the cell of the xylem or the phloem. So it is responsible, this cohesion force and adhesion force and the surface tension is responsible for that. Xylem vessels or tracheids, which with its lumen is comparable with the straw, and water column exist because of that combined cohesive and adhesive forces of the water and the xylem wall due to the capillarity. So it is because of the capillarity, water is raised or conducted in an upward direction against the gravity to a few centimeter only. This is the limitation of this theory, that water column is maintained in this capillary tube, and because of that capillarity, but this goes only few centimeter above from the lower part. So this is about this capillarity theory or physical force theory. So physical theories, the capillarity, water rises in a narrow tubes due to the force of the surface tension, and as you know, it's stated that it is the capillary action of narrow xylem tubes, and it is further supported by the atmospheric pressure. So this is about this capillarity theory. It is very simple. Only surface tension, cohesion force and adhesion force is responsible for the upward movement of the any liquid in the plant body. But there are some objection to this theory. It includes the distance of water level raise much less, that is 0.03 mm. For the capillary tube should be open from both sides but root have end walls. Another objection, the height of the water raised at 1 per diameter of a tube. A larger diameter conducts more water, and xylem are not in direct contact with the water, but for this theory contact is necessary. So dear students, these are few objections which may also includes the capillary tube. Xylem must be continuously and completely hollow from one end to the other end, but brackets in a xylem show the closed end wall. The another one, the lower end of the capillary tube, that is a xylem, must be in a direct contact with the soil water. However, there is exists a barrier of the root cortex between the xylem and the soil water. The another one, the narrower the capillary tube, greater is the height to which the water column is raised. Taller trees should show the xylem vessels with the very narrow bore diameter. However, in a nature, the tall tree shows xylem vessels having the wider bore. So, hence, to sum up, the capillarity cannot be the sole mechanism to explain the ascent of the sap in all the plants of varying height. So, dear students, this is about this simple capillary theory, but it is having so many objections. Now we'll go for the one of the most important part in the plant body, which is responsible for the translocation of the water and the translocation of the minerals, ions. So let's see it. What is this? It is actually the phloem. What is this phloem and where it is found? Now I'll clear you about that phloem. So actually, dear students, phloem is found within the leaf, within the stem, and the root of the plants. So this is the location of the phloem, and this phloem is having sieve tubes, the column of the specialized cell. These sieve tubes are separated by the perforated walls called the sieve plates. Sieve tubes are the cells are closely associated with the companion cell. So dear students, this phloem plays very important role in the translocation of the material in the plant body, so that they can get water as well as their minerals for the different purposes. So this phloem, actually it is having the sieve tubes, and these sieve tubes are having they are separated by the sieve plates. So we'll see it one by one now. This is the structure, internal structure, digital structure of the sieve tubes, in which you can see these are the sieve tubes, and these are separated from each other by these sieve plates, and besides that they are having companion cells too. So this is the structure of the phloem, in which companion cell is there, sieve tubes are there, which is separated by the sieve plates. Now we'll see the translocation or the transport in the phloem. The translocation occurs through the phloem, this part in the plants. The phloem transport is bidirectional. It means it takes place in a two direction. Most accepted theory for the translocation by the phloem is a mass flow theory. It moves from a sugar source, a place where sugar is produced. Actually, there are two terms in this translocation process. One is source and another one is sink. So what is this source and what is this sink? Let me show you. source, actually it is the point or it is the organ where the sugar is produced, means where the process of the photosynthesis takes place, and these parts are actually the green parts of the plant, for example leaf, while the sink is the part where the process of uh, receiving of all these sugar material takes place, means sink is the part which can be also considered as a non-green part, or most importantly it is the part where sugar is not produced. So from the source means the part or organ where sugar is produced by the photosynthesis, that sugar is transferred from that area into this non-green area or into this non-sugar producing area, which is called sink. This is the two terms used in this translocation process. One is source, in which the organ or the green part where the sugar is produced, means where the process of photosynthesis takes place, for example leaf, and the sink is the part where sugar is not produced, means photosynthesis doesn't take place there, and it receives the sugar from that source area, and this is called sink, and that is the root or stem is the example of that sink. So dear students, the mass flow theory, it includes few points here. Let's see it. It moves from a sugar source, means the area where the sugar is produced, a place where the sugar is produced by the photosynthesis or by the breaking down of sugar, to a sink area, means the movement of material from the source into the sink, an organ where the consumption or the storage of the sugar takes place. So this includes that point, and it borrows the water from the xylem to help the transport sugar. So in this diagram we'll see about that part. Dear students, these are the two tubes. This is the part of the xylem area, and this is the part of the phloem area. So you can see here phloem flow or the pressure flow. In this area you can see these tubes. These tubes are called sieve tubes, and these sieve tubes are separated by the perforated wall, and it is called sieve plates. And these are also companion cell are also there. So dear students, now we'll see the physical process of loading of sucrose into the phloem. It takes place here. You can see sucrose and the water is entering into this sieve tubes of the phloem area by the 1 and 2 number point. Then what happens when it enters into this phloem area or into the sieve tubes of the phloem area? It goes from one sieve tubes into another sieve tubes. It flow actually from the area of from the source into the sink by this direction, wherever there is a need of the material or the nutrients is there. So pressure flow, the phloem and the xylem are coupled in an osmotic system that transport the source and the circulates the water. Then it goes into the sink area or the sink cell. You can see here the physiological process of unloading the sucrose from the phloem in the sink area, it takes place. So simply dear students, this is the flow of or translocation of the water or the minerals in the phloem area. Simply it takes place from the source area to sinks area. Source area, for example leaf, where the photosynthesis and the sugar is produced, and from that area it goes into the area where it is needed, that is called the sink area, and from that area by the sieve tubes in the phloem. It goes or it flows and it is unloaded into that sink area, for example in the root and the stem. So this is simply the process of the translocation in which osmotic pressure is there. So this is called the translocation of the minerals. So source and the sinks, the direction of the transport determined by the relative location of the areas, and the source and the areas where the utilization of the photosynthetic takes place, that is called sink. So as you know, source is the area where photosynthesis takes place, sugar is produced, and sinks is the area where there is a need of this sugar, where this process is not taken place. Source, any transporting organ capable of mobilizing the organ compound or producing the photosynthetic in excess of its own needs, for example the matured leaves, the storage organ during the exporting phase of the development. And the sink is the, as you know, sink is the non photosynthetic organ that do not produce the enough photoassimilates to meet the own requirement, for example the root and stem and the developing fruit and immature leaf. So dear students, this is about this photosynthetic source area and sink area. You can see here, this is the leaf and this is considered as a source. Sugar source means where the process of the photosynthesis takes place, and from here this sugar is transporting, the process of translocation taking place by the phloem in its sieve tubes. It is transporting in the lower direction into that area, for example into this root, that is the sink area. So likewise by this arrow you can see this sugar is coming from the upward direction, from in the downward direction from the leaf into this root by the process of the translocation by the osmotic pressure. So this is simply the role of the phloem in the plant body to transport the minerals from the area of the source and the sinks. So this is about this lecture. Please do subscribe my channel and like my videos and share it with your friends and needies, and comments for your queries, and please do press the bell icon so that you can get the instant notification of my new video. Thank you very much for watching.